And now, weighing in out of the blue corner, Josh the Punk Thompson. 100% agree. And on the other mic, he weighs in from the red corner, Big Sean McCarthy.
Well, hello to the Weighing In podcast. Yes, UFC 312 from Australia, Sydney, Australia, is now over. And I'm going to say, you know what? The main card, the prelims were freaking on fire, a lot of those fights. But the main card was pretty much a snooze fest. I guess you can look at Teixeira had a big explosive. That was a beautiful elbow thrown. We'll talk about that. But Josh, overall, I mean, they were fighting, but it just wasn't that exciting.
You know me, I don't like to give Ariel Helwani much credit, right? But he brought up something the other day, and it actually kind of, it's starting to kind of come to fruition in terms of Dana White. He always said that boxing's always top heavy. The fight cards are always top heavy. That's kind of what we're getting right now. We're getting one or two main fights. And that's what kind of always separated us from boxing, was that it was a card of 5 good fights. I can't say that we're getting that these days.
Yeah. I mean, there was some good fights, and I'm not even on the main card. I really enjoyed the Jake Matthews Prado fight. They fought their asses off. It was good. You know, the Jimmy Crute versus Bellato fight, fought their asses off. It was good. Mm-hmm. But the two championship fights is not that. Look at Zhang Weili, I'm always saying it backwards because it seems weird, but Zhang Weili, she fought her ass off. Tatiana Suarez just couldn't figure things out, couldn't get back to her wrestling and stuff after the first takedown, and you could see it. There came that point in the between the third and fourth rounds. She's in her corner, and this is what I talk about all the time. And where was she looking? Straight down. I go, yeah, she is absolutely done.
Yeah,
you know, and it's but it's not that they didn't fight. They did. It's just that it wasn't that, I guess, because it wasn't competitive. That's really what it was. They just weren't competitive fights. One person was just winning the rounds, you know, round by round, basically for most of it. And I guess that's why maybe I thought it was a little bit of a snoozer, but they did fight. So.
Yeah, I mean, look, here it is at 2 a.m. right now. The fights are over. We're trying to get you guys
3 in the morning.
3 in the morning for John, 2 in the morning for me. We're trying to get this card out to you guys as soon as possible. Tomorrow we have the Super Bowl, Chiefs and the Eagles. Let's not.
And you know the Eagles are gonna win.
Oh, this guy.
Go Birds! Look at him, man.
Yeah,
I gotta go against
Go
you.
Birds. Go Birds, you motherfuckers. Look, I think I actually, to be honest, and I hate to say this, but man, I think Saquon Barkley is going to be
he might be the difference.
He'll be the X factor, I think, in this. The only way we can get this done against them is if we load the box and we stop the run as well as the run.
Yeah, you make Jalen Hurts win the game.
Win the game with his arm, but then what you do is you put AJ Brown and Devontae Smith out there on an island with Goddard too. I know we've got good cornerbacks, but now you're just playing man defense.
You don't want to go man to man with
that's very difficult to do against those guys, man. Yeah. Smith is so fast. AJ Brown's just a beast. He'll grab anything out of the sky, and Goddard's a big tight end. So, it becomes a run and gun then. You know, who can score the most points? And I would normally go with us, but we just also don't have the tools and the weapons that we've normally had in the past. And so we're going to find out, though. But, man, it's so hard to root against Patrick Mahomes and just seeing what he can do. He gets it done. If the game's close at all going in the fourth,
he's a winner.
Yeah, he's a winner.
But you got, I want to say this about Jalen Hurts. I don't know if you recall, Jalen Hurts was a quarterback for Alabama.
Yes.
And you remember that Ty ended up taking
Tuivasa,
yeah.
Not Tuivasa. Not Tuivasa.
Not that Ty. Not that Ty, dude.
No, Tagovailoa.
Thank you.
You know that. Never mind.
You got it.
Yes.
But he took over in the championship game, and Jalen Hurts.
Ty, it's Tua. Yeah.
Thank you.
Okay.
And he took over in that game, and then Jalen Hurts backed him up the whole way. And, was trying to help him throughout. And I thought, classy move. Then he went to Oklahoma because Tua was going to be the starter. He had a really good season. He's just everything he does, I look at, and he doesn't get credit for being a great quarterback. He's a winner, and he's a classy guy, man, and he deserves, all the accomplishments and all the wins that he's helped the Eagles get. So I'm glad to see him there. I'm glad to see that, someone like him has, kept on fighting forward and made something. And I think he's got a good shot. I do believe that it's going to end up coming down to him, and what he can do, because just like you said, I think that if you're the Chiefs, you got to look and say, we got to stop Barkley.
Yes.
Have to.
Yeah. But I also think you've got to stop Jalen too from running. So it's not just Barkley. You're going to have to, that play action is going to be very important. The option read on that's going to be important. So then also too, trying to get Jalen to beat you with his arm. And then that puts you in danger in the secondary. So, but look, if you guys haven't thrown any money down yet on the Super Bowl, make sure you guys go to BetUS and use YouTube 150 as the promo code.
And you can bet on anything.
You can bet on anything, but tomorrow
you can bet on who wins the coin flips.
Yeah, you can bet on anything. So, go to YouTube 150, use YouTube 150 as the promo code. They give you 150% bonus on your first deposit and 125% bonus on your next 2 deposits. So don't let it go to waste, man. Use it up tomorrow. Let's go ahead and use it up tomorrow. I think that's a great opportunity to make some money. If you guys listened to us last week, you only made money on one of my fights. I picked DDP to win, and then I picked, and then I thought I was wrong. Was going to win. I thought Tatiana was going to win, and came up short. Glad I didn't tell you guys to parlay them, but but I did have DDP winning, and I thought it was a good bet and to go the distance on it and stuff. So
my farm needs the earth, the air, and the water. I get my energy going on LMNT Electrolyte Drink Mix. Clean, good-tasting energy that feeds me like I feed my plants and animals. And after a long day on the tractor, when it's time to shoot the podcast, I drink LMNT so that I can stay energized and stay salty. Let's get it on.
But John, I guess before we move on,
also had him winning with the over.
Oh yes, absolutely, yeah, on the over 4.5. Look, guys, let's just go ahead and jump right into it. Want to thank you guys so much for being here with us this early in the morning.
They're not with us early in the morning.
You're not with us, but
it's okay.
I know some of you guys are up, probably still drinking and partying out there and stuff. But you guys will get this first thing in the morning. So this is something to kind of start your Sunday off, get you guys ready for the Super Bowl Sunday, and hopefully you guys enjoyed the show. John, we said that Sean Strickland could not afford to do what he did in the first fight. And what did he do?
Same thing.
Same exact. He actually moved back less in this fight than he did more.
He moved back more, but he didn't throw.
Fight. But he didn't throw.
He wasn't throwing his hands. His right hand, how many times did he actually? I mean, he took some big winging shots at times, but it wasn't an effective, attack with his right hand. You could hear the frustration out of Eric Nixick in the corner. Mm-hmm. He's trying to tell him, hey, man, I need more of you. And it was no matter what anyone wants to say, when you're sitting there judging that fight, I guess one of the judges gave the first round to Strickland, I would think. But Plessis, it was the volume for the most part.
Yeah.
And you could sit there and say, okay, well, maybe Strickland had more volume in the fourth round. No, he got his nose broken and had to reset it, which I give him credit for because it sucks to reset your own nose. But because it was definitely doing a U-turn and he got it straight again. But it's volume. The volume of he is very impressive in the fact that DDP has this volume and he's got a gas tank for a guy that's carrying a lot of muscle. It's unusual.
Yeah. They both have a gas tank. They both do. Just DDP is okay with emptying it. Whereas tonight was the first time I sat there and watched Sean Strickland, and I realized that he doesn't have an overdrive. He has first and second gear, and then that's it. There's no 3, 4. I think the only time I've ever seen gear 3 is when he dropped Izzy, jumped on him, and tried to get him out of there. That was the only time I ever saw gear 3. There's no shift into 4, 5, and 6. There's nothing there. John, like when you're core, even in the last fight, When your corner is telling you you need to win this round, you need to get him out of there, there's no sense of urgency.
None.
And I guess let me ask you this. I can talk about all my past experiences as much as possible, but I mean, you've been inside the cage with all these other fighters, and you see it in them. Look, like I said, I've talked about it with the Tony Ferguson fight. Dude, I knew I had to fucking win the third round. I knew I had to try to get him out of there. I knew I had to do something, right? Go for it. I got my ass kicked the fucking first 2 rounds. Then the same thing with Gil Melendez in the second fight. I knew in the 5th round I had to get out there. I went out there and tried to do everything I could to get him out of there in the 5th. There's no sense of urgency with Sean. It's like if he can't get it done doing what he's doing, then he's not. Then there's no like, you know what? I'm just gonna go ahead. I'm gonna fuck. He's not doing the Max Holloway point to the ground. Let's see what. That's not him.
No,
that's not him. And I don't know, as a coach or as a promoter or anyone else, any other fighter, I'm thinking to myself, like, this is it. This is what you've been like. You're not getting another title shot for a long time. Not the things that come out of your mouth. That's one.
No. Yeah.
Not by the way, not like the things that you've said. Not like all the buildup. It doesn't work anymore now. If you're gonna just fight like that, like it's done. Like now you're gonna be at the back of the line in this division, and it'll be a while. I think it'll be years. It'll be 2.5, maybe 3 years. I think if he ever gets back.
That's 2 losses to DDP.
Mm-hmm.
And 2 losses where it was the same fight, except for more takedowns in the first one. It was basically the same fight, you know?
Yeah.
And it was a matter of Duplessis just has more output, and Sean's output is pretty high, but because DDP throws a lot of shots, Sean takes those steps back, and every time he does it, he's not being offensive. He resets. Here comes DDP again. Backs off, comes and resets. Here comes DDP again. And there's no offense coming out of him, you know, compared to what is the usual. Because you can look at, you know, hell, even in this fight, he broke, you know, Bisping's, you know, significant strike stat. I guess they have that as a record up there, but not in this fight. I mean, as far as the amount of output is low when you're looking at someone that fights the way that DDP does against him, and he's got to change that up. It's a mental thing. It's, you know, I thought Eric Nixick did everything that, you know, you could ask a coach to do, and trying to get you pumped, trying to get you, you know, understanding you're losing these rounds, man. I need more of you. I need more volume. Hey, we need this round. This round I need. It just wasn't there.
Yeah. No sense of urgency. If I'm a promoter, if I'm Dana White, I'm sitting there watching cage side going like, what happened with all the talk, all the stuff that you said you were going to do, all the action you were going to push. Like, and then when you know the Dana, because I know Coker used to do it. I know Dana talks about it all the time, is when he sits there, he's listening to what the corners are saying. Sure. He wants to know what the reactions are. He wants to know what's going on. And, there was no sense of urgency. Like the other thing too, as Eric Nixick he's a great coach. He's telling him, and Sean looks at him and just goes, "Yeah, I know." Like, well, if you know, then do something.
Then do it.
Like that's I guess, I don't know. I guess for me, and I've seen it in world-class guys, like they have that extra gear. Like, I don't give a fuck. I'd rather go out on my shield than just keep doing what I'm doing in round 5. Like this is why you like that old, like, this is why you fucking run all those, you know, sprints. This is why you lift all those fucking weights. This is why you do all this stuff, you know, and to do what? To go out there and be like, you know what? Yeah, I got by in the 5th round. I mean, think about what kind of fights we would have got had the guys been like that. Like in the Robbie Lawler and Roy McDonald fight, had we just got the guy who decided to go out there and not do anything in round 4 or 5, whatever it was? Hell no.
Excuse me.
You know what I'm saying? Like they just, tonight was the Izzy and Gastelum fight getting entered in.
Yeah.
That's a perfect example. Like, I'm sorry, but neither one of those guys came out there in round 5 was like, you know what? I'm just going to go ahead and just cruise. I just, and look, and in all fairness too, and I gotta be brutally honest, is a lot of people don't like Sean in terms of like his mouth and things he says. I'm not a huge fan of it either, but I'm a fan of Sean Strickland. I really do enjoy watching him fight. But what I don't enjoy, and this goes for every fighter, is I don't enjoy when I know that this is your second go around for a title. You told us it would be different, and nothing changed.
Yeah.
And then in rounds 4, rounds 5, after round 1, you could see, and even Eric Nixick was saying, "Hey, you're just falling back into what you were doing." Like, no, I need more output. And then nothing changed. And then round 3, I need more output. Nothing changed. You've got to make it. Now, I know there's times in my career, there's times I know in fighters' careers, you're just not feeling it. Things just seem like they're not working. But you can't do it twice to the same guy. It can't be on the biggest stage of your career, when you were defending the title, and then when you're trying to get the title back. Like, it can't be that. You've got to make those adjustments in between rounds. That's what separates champions in all sports.
Absolutely.
Is to come in at halftime and go, look, we're down by fucking 15.
You got to make adjustments.
10. I got to make these adjustments, and I got to come out and get it done. The fucking Patriots and the Falcons, 28-0 or whatever, right? Going into halftime or some shit.
28-7.
Something like that, right? It come out, and then guess what? Fucking they end up winning the Super Bowl. That's
champions.
insane. Super Bowl champions, right? You've got to be able to make those adjustments. That is a championship mentality. You've got to be able to make those adjustments. And he doesn't have that. I don't know if maybe I've just always overlooked it, but it doesn't seem to be there. He's got first gear, second gear, and an occasional third. There's no 4, 5, 6. And so what do you do if what you're doing isn't working because it's worked for you in the gym and sparring, it's worked for you in past fights. If it's not working for you, what do you do, John? I mean, you've seen it inside the cage. What have you seen other guys do?
You see the adjustments, and that's what makes guys that you go, hey, he's trying and he's going. And it's not that Sean's not trying. Obviously he's trying, but he's not figuring out that, his style is a very basic style. We talked about this in the last show. Look, he's boxing centric. He throws a teep. That's basically the only kick he throws. So you've got a teep kick, you got a left hand and a right hand. Well, don't be, I'm not saying that he hasn't gotten along very well with that. In fact, he won the championship with it. So it's not that it hasn't worked, but there's always going to be that guy, and DDP is the guy for him, that he can accept that teep and he can accept the way that you throw. And he just decides, I'm going to be aggressive. Sean likes to counter a lot, but he's not countering against DDP.
Yeah.
And it's that volume and that attack and the way that Duplessis, he attacks. It's got Sean where he's being very defensive, and he just is basically lacking in volume that can win him the fight. He's going to have to. I'm honest. There's not going to be a third fight.
No.
You got 2 fights, where you lost both of them. Neither one was, not that you guys weren't fighting, but they weren't, stellar performances as far as, wow, I got to see that again. So that's a fight that's just not going to happen. And unless not as champion, Duplessis is not going to see Strickland again.
Yeah. I don't, to be honest, I don't want to see that fight again. Even if it wasn't for a title, I have no desire to see that fight again. Neither fight was good. They were both okay.
Yeah.
That was it. And I think once you take away the fact that the excitement of it, potentially the title changing hands, and you just make that a regular fight, the energy's not there. It's just a fight. Like, I've seen it twice, and I wasn't impressed with either performances from both fighters. I thought DDP fought a very good fight. He didn't need to do too much. He did just enough to win. I thought not just enough. He did enough definitely to win.
I have no problem with anything he did. I thought,
I don't.
Man, you got to look, because he was doing spinning attacks. He was he was throwing kicks. He's he's using a full toolbox for the most part. Really didn't do any grappling. The takedown at the end of the round, big freaking deal. But he's still going after him with all these different attacks. Okay, you're a difficult guy to deal with, and it's the amount. you know what it's like when you're fighting someone that is a pressure fighter that actually throws at you a lot. It's a lot to deal with. There's a lot there, and DDP does it very well, and it absolutely puts Sean, I want to say on his back foot, because he's always backing out of it.
Mm-hmm.
He's always backing away from it and then resetting. You can't do that.
Mm-mm.
You got to either engage it and counter it, or you got to be the one setting that attack.
Yeah, look, there's two guys already ahead of him. So you've got Chimaev and Imavov. Those two guys are already ahead of Sean Strickland. So it will be a long time before he gets a title shot. That's not only that, but then I think you're going to see Sean probably drop all the way down to like either right before Izzy, maybe even right after Izzy. They'll probably be somewhere in that mix somewhere. But then, I mean, I wouldn't be opposed to seeing maybe a Robert Whitaker and Sean Strickland fight.
Yeah, that wouldn't be bad.
That's a fight to make. Or you see a Kai Bahalo versus Sean.
See, I wouldn't put Kai Bahalo against him right now. I would look and say I want to put Kai Bahalo against someone that's an up and comer too, that is right at that point. And it's.
What do you mean right at that point? Kai Bahalo is number 6. I mean, there's really no one ahead of him that hasn't already fought for the title. You've got Chimaev and Imavov, and that's it. The rest of them are all guys that, like Izzy just lost. Whitaker coming off of his loss, and then Strickland coming off his loss, and that's it. Those are the only guys ranked ahead of him.
Yeah.
And then you have the other two guys that are number 1, number 2, basically, Imavov and Chimaev. So, they're not going to have those two guys fight each other. One of them's going to get the title shot next.
Oh, yeah.
The other one's probably going to wait for their title shot after that.
Yeah.
I mean, there's, but I don't see the only other guy that I think can maybe make a little bit of a run. He's obviously Kai Bahalo, but then you've also got Brendan Allen. He's still got that little bit in him where he can make that run. Yeah, I don't know, man. That, like I said, this division is kind of one of those divisions where they need that Bo Nickel to go ahead and make that step quickly.
Well, that's funny. I think that would not that Imavov or Chimaev can't beat Duplessis. They could, but they're gonna have their hands full in trying. Who was the last person to beat him?
Beat who?
Beat DDP.
Oh man, I don't even know, John.
Roberto Soldic in KSW.
The Croatian.
Yeah.
Oh man.
The guy. In fact, I introduced you to him in Ireland. He's a hell of a fighter, but he went to 1 and hasn't been fighting.
That's where you go to fucking let your career die.
There you
Lost
go.
his one debut.
Yeah,
Yep.
he lost his one debut.
That was it.
Oof.
But I mean, that's his last loss, and he's had a lot of fights since then.
And didn't he come back and beat him after he lost?
No,
Oh, no.
he has never beat him. No.
John, with DDP, do you think he's cutting too much weight? Because look, I know he looks like he's got cardio and he pushes the pace, but it goes in spurts. Like he goes hard for a second and then he slows down. He goes hard for a second. It gives me a little bit of it makes me feel like he's possibly cutting too much weight, and his recovery against someone who is like an Imavov or I'm still, like I said, I'm still on the fence with Chimaev on how his cardio will be after round 2. But look, he hasn't had to need it. Yeah. So until it goes into round 3, 4, 5, I mean, he hasn't had to need it. But DDP, I know, has been there in rounds 4 and 5, but it just doesn't look pretty. And it looks like,
he's never going to look pretty. He looks, he obviously doesn't fight like Keith Jardine.
No, but it's very clunky.
But he's exactly, he has got a spastic style that he makes moves that look nothing smooth. It's almost robotic in some ways. It's effective for him.
Yeah.
And that's all that matters. And you're talking about, I always look if someone's, getting tired. You're probably cutting too much weight. You got that much muscle. You're cutting too much. Nope. I don't think he is. I think he's got it down. He gets big. I saw him standing there against Bisping, and I was like, "Damn! Look at the size difference between Bisping and DDP."
He's 46 though, or some shit.
Hey, everything changes.
Yeah.
But I mean, I don't think he is cutting too much weight. He's doing it right. He's in the right weight class. I like the fact that he's kind of trying to call out freaking Alex Pereira too. Yeah, way to go.
Yeah. I mean, I'm down to see that fight. I'm
Love
down.
to
But
see
he's
that
got
fight.
some work cut out for him with Chimaev and
Oh yeah.
Mava.
He's got a nice right now.
Mhm.
You know, in the UFC, the middleweights, there's some interesting matchups for the championship. So that's always a good thing.
I agree.
I got some good news, ladies and gentlemen.
Our podcast, Weighing In, was the first podcast to ever partner with OnlyFans.
Bringing you guys the best content we possibly can in the combat sports industry.
We are making some leeway on bringing sports to the OnlyFans platform.
Where top-tier, world-class athletes can connect with their fans. We're talking about combat sports athletes like Demetrius Mighty Mouse Johnson, Chris Cyborg,
Luke Rockhold.
AJ McKee.
You've also got pro surfers like Billy Kemper. Some chilling news.
I want you to head on over to the Weighing In OnlyFans channel.
More connection with our fans on our OnlyFans channel.
Only available on OnlyFans.
Weili Zhang versus Tatiana Suarez.
Damn, I was wrong. And I knew going in, you know, that Weili is so, you know, athletic and everything, but I thought that Tatiana on the ground would give her problems because I've seen Weili have some problems on the ground. And she, you know, she was held down, you know, in the first round. She lost the first round, and I know she got back, but she didn't do any damage either. It was the same thing, and it wasn't as long, so she got, you know, basically out grappled for the round. But other than that, that was it. She took over in the fight, and just Tatiana was, you know, again, this is the difference between the experience. When we talk about experience as a fighter and having someone like Weili that's got, you know, close to 30 fights and having someone that has close to 10, you know, and it's tough. It's tough when you've never been in that championship fight. It's tough when you've never really been in that 5-round fight. It's tough when you haven't had a competitor that was able to stop the things that have always worked for you. And that's what happened in this fight. And you could see it in just her demeanor as the rounds were going on, how she was like, I don't understand. I can't make this work. You know, and like I said, between the third and fourth round, sitting on her stool, you know, her, you know, fiance Patchy Mix is sitting there, you know, talking to her, and she's looking straight down. And as soon as you have an athlete that is not looking at the coach while they're talking, for the most part, unless they're getting water or getting worked on, you know, nope, the brain is starting to go in different directions, and they're talking to themselves, and it's not good right now.
Yeah.
And that's what we saw.
You know what I saw Patchy Mix Juan Archuleta all over again.
Yeah, in a way.
You know, there was that like super confident coming in. Round one kind of went the way you wanted, and then she cut her knee. Yeah. And then with Patchy and Juan, it was like a little bit of the couldn't get the takedowns anymore after controlling rounds 1 and 2 on the back and dominating those 2 rounds. But in this one, the cut on the knee made a huge difference.
Yeah.
Now I think mentally it just fucked with her. On top of like that's the knee that I'm shooting on or even when I'm wrestling at all.
I think that was the knee. I think that was the knee that she had the
surgery
damage to, the surgery and everything too.
So it looks like, and then I think I saw it looked like that she hit it against the fence. I was cornering a guy named Pat Minahan who used to train out of AK, and we were fighting in this he was fighting a small show up in Santa Rosa, and the show was such a janky show. Anyways, he shoots a double leg, drops down on the double against the fence, hits his knee on the fence, and there's a zip tie.
Oh,
that they
cuts him like a razor blade.
Yep. It filleted the tip of his knee wide open. It looked like it looked like someone took a razor blade and just literally made an L shape, and the fucking skin was just flapping. It was so deep that all you saw was white. Yeah. That's how deep it was. And the rest of the fight, I mean, he still won the fight, but the rest of the fight was shit. Like it was like literally like he couldn't shoot, and the whole game plan was to take him down. When something like that happens, you're not just fighting the person in front of you. You're fighting yourself, constantly just in your brain, just telling yourself, fuck, what do I do? How do I get out of this? Like, I can't go to my knee when I'm grappling. I can't go to my knee when I'm wrestling. I can't drop down and turn the corner. You don't realize how much time you spend on your knee in a fight. Whether you're in someone's guard, just trying to do ground and pound, trying to hold their hips in front of you. There's a lot, man. And it looked like she just shut down. She shut down. She didn't know what to do. Didn't know how to make the adjustments. I've got more sympathy for her in this situation more so than I do Sean Strickland, because in this situation, like, this is something that she's never had to deal with. That's one. Two, she was not fighting this person. She never fought this person before. That's two. Three was the biggest fight of her life. There's all the things that go along with it. It was the adrenaline dump after winning round one and then getting cut in round two on the knee. Like, it just everything, like, fuck, everything I've worked for to get me here. The good thing is that, there's something to build off of a little bit there.
Oh yeah.
She was able to get the takedown. She was able to get some control. She needs to work on some other details in terms of the striking, the closing the distance. I think she's going to learn a lot from this fight. I think she's going to end up being back. I think she'll get back. And I'm not ruling her out yet on her potentially being the champion later on. No. But she's someone that has something. She's got something. It's just very unfortunate. It's a lot to swallow. Like, your title shot, your knee, I can't wrestle. Like, what do I do? Then everything, the build up, man, build up and everything. So I wish her nothing. I wish her a speedy recovery. But I mean, Weili fought a great fight. Good stuff, man. That little inside trip from Henry Cejudo that she hit was so quick and so smooth. I was like, oh, that was nasty. That was nasty. He almost did it as good as the Olympic gold medalist. Holy
shit, it was close.
Shit, it was close. It was nice. She looked freaking awesome, man. She looked great the whole fight. She gave up the first round, but she was able to get the reversal and get on top. But then the rest of the fight was, she took over. She wasn't afraid to take the fight anywhere. She was like, look, I can do it on the feet, hit you with some big shots. You get too close to me, I'm not afraid to take you down. Threatened a couple front guillotines also. She threatened a couple chokes. And then she used those to get herself kind of like away from defending the takedowns against Tatiana Suarez, because Tatiana was in deep on a couple takedowns, and
she got deep many times. She got her hands clasped and still couldn't get it.
Yep. I mean, so I thought she did a great job, man. She fought a great fight, true champion, found a way to win, made some adjustments throughout the fight. Fantastic performance by Weili. Fantastic.
Yeah, Zhang Weili, you're taking a look at what the performance she did when people were starting to look, and this is when you're the champion, you normally expect to be the favorite in the fight, and when you're not, it kind of hurts.
Yeah,
it's kind of like, oh, you think, and every round was her statement to everyone of you were wrong, and she said that statement was to me because I was wrong. Yeah, and I've always said that I really enjoy watching her fight. I think she's fantastic. She's a hell of an athlete, very strong physically. She's fast. She's got everything. The only person that seems to have her number is a girl named Rose. So, she's I don't see anybody in the strawweight division Jan had a nice fight against her, I guess.
Yeah.
But still not quite there. But, she's sitting, right now in a pretty dominant position.
Mm-hmm. Just keep collecting them checks, man.
Oh, yeah. Good for her. I would
recommend.
Good for her.
Taliesin Teixeira versus Justin Tafa.
Well, it was fast.
Yeah.
It's like, damn. That was I was kind of like with you in the fact that I thought I watched Teixeira, he throws heavy shots. He likes to be in the stand-up, and he's tall and all that, but I saw him take a lot of big shots, and I thought, with Justin Tafa, that's not a good thing. Well, he didn't even let that happen, because that elbow he threw, I got to say, the elbow he threw was beautiful.
Yep.
Absolutely everything you're looking for, because he went to the knee to the body, stepped back, and brought that thing forward. And, I know Tafa complained about the stoppage.
Yeah.
Dude, you fall to the ground like you did, and you just turtle up and start taking shots. Yeah, you're asking for the fight to be stopped. So, obviously, that elbow hurt. It took away your ability to think for a little bit, and well played by Taliesin, because he he absolutely made that all just happen. He was the creator, he was the artist, and it was a beautiful painting of a guy that we know that in Tafa, he likes to be in the stand-up, and he throws shots and he takes shots. He's a tough guy, but nice win by Taliesin.
Yeah, I thought that Taliesin was he leaves himself open a lot in the exchanges. He overreaches on a lot of his striking because he's got long arms.
Yeah.
So I thought for sure that Tafa was going to be able to catch him, leaving himself out of position. That kind of tie to Avasa and Tafa style is like slightly move my head off line, make you pay, slide inside of that little gap, when you leave yourself too long, and then hit you with some big hoop, loopy shots. And that didn't happen. Taliesin got right to the clinch, pressed him to the fence, threw a little quick knee in there.
Boom.
Bink, bink.
Was it 35 seconds?
Yeah, it was beautifully done, man. Very beautifully done. I was just, look, if you would have made a little bit of money on us, had you said, I said take the under at 1.5.
Yeah, we said it was going to be a knockout.
Yeah, I said it'd be a knockout. I thought it for sure would be a knockout under 1.5. So you could have made some money on that one. But I also picked Taliesin to win. Not Taliesin, but Tafa to win. I thought that Taliesin was going to leave himself extended too much, get hit with something big against Tafa. So I called it wrong, but hey, man, if you could have still made money on it, if you would have listened to us on taking it on the under at 1.5. So Jimmy Crute versus Rodolfo Bellato.
We called this one wrong too.
It's a good fight, though.
It was a great fight.
Yeah.
It was absolutely that first round, Jimmy Crute was putting it on him.
Mm-hmm.
And I was surprised one of the I guess everyone went 10-8 on it is on the first round. So should have been Jimmy Crute, had him in trouble, had him hurt multiple times. Couldn't get the finish. Bellato did a great job of, sometimes getting distance, sometimes being able to hold on. Took a lot of damage on the ground, but tough as hell. And then turned it around, which you got to give him credit for, because when you get beat like that in a round and you're able to turn around and it seemed to me, Jimmy, they were talking about the leg kicks. It wasn't so much like he got tired, and you could see that he was breathing hard, and then he started taking shots himself, and it just turned into, okay, who's more tired, which guy is, and they both just they didn't have enough power left in them to hurt the other guy enough to put him down, and so they just took big shots back and forth, but it was entertaining. It was fun to watch. And in the end, it should have been a draw. That was the right call on that fight. So I was happy with the way it ended.
George, can you answer this question?
Nope.
Because you're a hillbilly.
Nope.
You're one of those guys. What the fuck is with this haircut bullshit? The Jimmy Crute mullet, like, what is it? It's like business in the front, party in the back kind of thing.
It's bad.
Like,
maybe they have a lesbian aunt they look up to.
You're awesome, dude.
Thank you very much, George, for those words of wisdom.
Oh man.
Yeah.
Why is she gotta be a lesbian?
Well, you gotta think about it. With that haircut, I'm kind of going with Keto George there, and you got to think, well, if she's gonna wear that haircut, I really can't.
Yeah,
but he does.
No, but hey, it just runs in the family. They all want to look alike, right?
I'm just happy Theo Von's doing good right now.
Fucking, that's some deliverance stuff right there. Ding, 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 ding. All right. Anyways, look, I thought it was an entertaining fight. One of the more entertaining fights on the card, to be honest,
because they both were giving everything they had.
Absolutely,
and that's what you're looking for.
Yeah.
Jake Matthews against Francisco Prado. Dude, this was a hell of a fight. Jake Matthews was looking good. Prado's tough as hell. He looked small for the weight.
He's not
class.
A big guy, John.
No, he's not. It was 69-inch reach, dude.
Yeah, but he carries
69-inch reach is not a good reach for a lightweight.
Yeah. He carries a lot of muscle though for being a shorter guy though.
Yeah.
He's stacked up. But Jake Matthews is just tall. He's a big boy. He's got a big body frame, it looks like. And overall, though, John, I had to watch this fight on your FaceTime.
That's true. I was holding my phone so you could see it. But, I mean, you got to admit, Jake Matthews looked good. His stand-up looked good. This is a guy that kind of, started being a grappler in the beginning of his career and has really worked himself into liking the stand-up. It's cost him in some of his fights, but his trainer, Sam Greco, has done a great job of making him very tight with, when he's throwing stuff. When he throws a jab out, it comes back on the same rail. It looks good. Same with his right hand. He doesn't get himself out of position a lot, doesn't overextend a lot. And really, in the end, they both had power in their hands. They both landed some shots, but it was Jake Matthews' shots that had the most effect in the fight, and that's why he won, and he should have.
Yeah, no, I agree. Gabriel Santos versus Jack Jenkins.
Goddamn, Gabriel Santos looked good.
Yeah, he did after he got dropped.
Yeah,
he looked good after that.
That was it. You got to go. Jack Jenkins is came on the scene, looked good in his first UFC fight that we watched him in, and then this fight he came out and that kick to the head was beautiful. And not surprised that it put Santos down, but from that point the fight really changed. And I really got to give Santos credit in the way that when he got hurt, he didn't just try to defend, he tried to be offensive. And you can look, when he went down, you can see his hands went down to, control his fall. So his brain was still there, and it happened with a couple of guys and stuff. But, right away went to the, try to go for the arm bar, went for a triangle, didn't have it complete, but, kept on trying to work at it. But it kept Jenkins from being able to attack him anymore. Very, good use of a submission attempt just to keep yourself safe, keep yourself from being damaged. And then when he got up from that point, man, he started to look like a different fighter. And I loved some of the attacks that he was doing, some of the offense that he was throwing, some of the kicks he was throwing, really just well-timed, well-placed. He really looked like he started to just take control in the fight. And then the choke at the end, again, beautifully done. Didn't go for the, Mataleon, went for the, palm it, brought it tight, brought his head over the top of it. Hard for, Jenkins to be able to grab hold of anything. Too tight, has to tap. That was a beautiful performance overall. Yeah, he had the knockdown that he got hit with the head kick. But after that, just a fantastic performance by him. Yeah,
I mean, he actually came back in that first round with that triangle choke.
Yeah.
That was beautiful. It was put on nice and tight, nice and deep. And then, Jacobs was actually able to get out of it and then weather the storm. But then after that, the rest of it, you could tell they kind of zapped his energy being stuck in that triangle.
Yeah.
And then the rest of the fight just kind of fell apart after that, getting taken down, being controlled from the bottom or from the top. But look, Santos looked good after, he was able to recover from that.
He's a young kid, 27, 28 years old.
Yeah.
So.
Look good. Any other fights you want to talk about? Topuria? You want to talk? Obviously, you want to talk about Cody Steele, but go ahead, John.
Yeah, I got to give it up for Slav against Tom Nolan. It was a great fight. They fought their asses off. Borshchev is just tough as hell. He's like the old Timex commercial. Takes a licking and keeps on ticking. And Tom Nolan was throwing some just bitching stuff at him. He's open, he's wild, but he's effective as hell, man. And he's got an all around game. So that was a fun fight to watch, in my opinion. What
was your take on Topuria's brother?
I thought he looked, very relaxed, very composed. I think, the opponent in Thicknesse is a guy that, he's moving all over. He's doing some fancy stuff and everything. And I thought Alexander just did the right thing. He just kept marching him down and making him pay at times. You can't make him pay all the time. I thought the suplex at the end of the first round was fantastic. He kind of let the fight get away from him a little bit in the second round. He brought it back and then took over in the third round again. So, first fight in the UFC against a guy that was undefeated, a good fighter, a guy that trains with Volkanovski. I thought that he put on a well planned out performance, nice and calm, didn't make any big mistakes, didn't take any big chances, used his striking, used his wrestling. I thought, that's what you want to do if you're him. Don't go out there and try to be flashy in your first fight. Just get through that first fight there.
It's just so difficult to be someone's little brother who's so successful,
Big brother.
right? Yeah, big brother. You know what I mean? But like he fights a bantamweight, so little brother. But you understand what I'm saying? And
Yeah.
obviously everyone's going to start to look at you and go, look, you look like you're trying to fight like your brother, the way you walk people down, the way he kind of swaggers himself in there, a little bit of left to right movement.
Yeah.
And then keeps his elbows real tight to his body and just kind of, doesn't do too much.
That's just called a good style of fighting.
It is. It's a very, what's funny is that a lot of, look, we just saw it the other night with Izzy. A lot of MMA guys, Sean Strickland did it all night tonight. The way that they decide to use their defense, they say, but they're technically sound and defensively sound. The thing is no, a lot of MMA guys are not technically and defensively sound. We back away with our hands reaching out.
Yeah.
Almost all of us do. And it's a very bad habit, a really bad habit. And Izzy paid the price for it the other night. Sean, he got hit a bunch of times tonight because of it, nose broken because of it. Like, it's just in these positions, we tend to reach out with our hands thinking we can stop their punches, and we can't. You don't see that with Topuria. You didn't see that with his brother, Alexander, either. And I think it's a very, when I was working with one of my boxing coaches, Rick Noble, who also had a 5-time world champ female boxer that he used to coach, Karina Moreno. And he was very adamant about making fighters miss and making them pay. But he was also very good about always making sure your hands stayed on your chin, slip slightly offline, and then come back with the punch, 1, 2, 3, whatever it was, right? Versus making it like kind of moving your hands and doing all of this stuff, like move your head first and your hand stays over here. No, your hands come with your chin, and as you move, then you throw off of that. Yep. It's just, we don't see MMA guys do that, and it could be so beneficial because he was very clear about, like, every time you try to parry a punch, your hands are occupied, and when your hands are occupied, I can't punch you back. So stop parrying punches. Just move your head offline, and as you move your head offline, throw the jab, and then as you come back with the other way to come back, throw the right hand. Always off that movement, small little subtle movements, but don't occupy your hands with trying to parry punches. Throw the punches. And it was something that always stuck with me. And it's one of those things that if you don't practice it and use it every single day in practice, you don't use it. And you end up losing it if you never had it. So it's just one of those things that it's good. It's so nice to see, like, Topuria use that, his brother use it. Like, they stay very tight with their defense. They don't reach out. They don't leave themselves out of position a lot. I was very impressed. He's gonna get compared a lot to his brother, which is fair because they're brothers, obviously. But the way his fighting style is, I don't know if. I just want to know how it's going to affect him. Do you understand what I'm saying? Like, 1 or 2 fights in,
I'm not too sure that he has the power of his
people
brother.
are going to. He doesn't.
Yeah,
it doesn't. But he's also bantamweight.
Yeah, sure.
So I guess I want to know. I hope he's got thick skin, because the comparison's going to happen soon. If it already hasn't by the time of this media thing gets out tomorrow, and I'm here comparing, like, in terms of the way that their fighting style looks, but their fighting style is not the same. It looks similar, but they're different fighters.
Sure,
different fighters.
That's okay.
So, but that's a good thing. That's a good thing. It's just a matter of, can he separate himself from his brothers? From being like kind of right there.
If you're gonna look at it overall, out of a scale of 10, his performance, 7.5. It's not bad in your opening fight in the UFC.
Yeah, no, absolutely. There's a lot of pressure coming in. They get the littler brother or older brother, whatever you want to call it, right? But you're coming in, and there's a lot of pressure. Like, it's already hard enough we saw with Cody Steele tonight. Like, he's known for his grappling, his jiu-jitsu, and what did he do? I know. Just decided to stand and bang. I'm like,
the whole time. I'm like,
what are you doing?
Cody, what are you doing?
Let's
talk about that fight, because Rongzhu against Cody Steele, and this is one of those ones you look and you try to tell people, look, a smart man doesn't fight another man's fight. A smart man makes the other man fight his fight. Mm-hmm. And you look and you go, Cody, you're going to learn from this.
Yeah.
Because Cody he's a hell of an athlete. He's a good submission guy. He's a tough kid, but you played into a guy that you knew that you physically had already been on, the mats with, and you knew you had a superior aspect to the MMA game than him, and you played into his strength. It was an exciting fight. It was a great fight. They beat the shit out of
That
each
first
other.
round was fucking awesome.
Oh my God. It was, like I said, the prelims were freaking had some awesome fights. Just incredible as far as, but Cody Steele's going to learn from this. He's got a loss on his record now based upon don't fight another man's fight.
Yeah. I mean, I think what's good, the upside of it though, John, is that the moment wasn't too big for him. A lot of kids, when they first come in, they freeze up and they're afraid to pull the trigger. They just want to kind of slightly get by. They want to just get enough to do the win. No. I think he's like, look, you're going to land a shot. I'm going to land a shot. I'm going to keep coming. And that first round was back and forth. It was a great first round. And then he settled in to just striking. I think he just realized that, man, I'm a lot more tired than I thought I would be. And it's a lot of energy to get this fight to the ground. And he didn't do it. He's like, I'm not going to do it. Screw it. I'm just going to stay standing and just do it this way. And although stupid, but very entertaining for
entertaining
for our side of it all.
No doubt about it.
So
it was
good on
him.
Good on him for and I love that at the end, right? He said, fucking, let's just throw it down the last 10 seconds.
Yeah.
There was that level of like, hey, I need gear 4 or 5 because I need to get the finish. So let's just go ahead and throw caution to the wind. Let me see if I can get you out of here in this last 10 seconds. I admire that. Like, you knew, like I said, I was criticizing Strickland earlier because there is no round. There is no gear 3, 4, 5. With Cody, he dug deep and just like, fuck it. Let's just see what happens, man. I got nothing to lose. I'm already losing the fight. Right now he was down. He knew he had to have known he was down. First round I had him winning, but I had him losing rounds 2 and he was losing round 3. So overall, hopefully he learns a lot from this and gets back to his wrestling, his grappling, jiu-jitsu, all of those things. But overall, though, I thought it was a good performance for his first fight, getting the jitters out and having fun, man. I would imagine he got a bonus for that. I would imagine.
You would think.
Because it was probably the second, I'd say it's the first or second best performance of the night. I mean, this young kid, Quinlan Salkiad or whatever it was, with the 19-second knockout.
Bad stoppage.
But you just okay. Bad well, John, stoppage. Still my shot. Come on, don't take away this guy's thunder.
I'm not saying no. He did nothing wrong, and he should. I would like to see him get a bonus.
Yeah,
it was a bad stoppage.
Okay,
I swear to you, I was as that fight's playing out, and it's 10 seconds into it at the time. I'm looking at the referee, and he's got happy feet, and I go, he's nervous. I go, don't make a mistake. And as soon as that shot freaking landed, I go, there it goes. Oh God.
That sucks.
Rongzhu and Steele, fight of the night.
Yeah. Fight of the night.
There you go. It was.
The guy that got the early stoppage victory, he got performance of the night, along with the guy that knocked out Tafa.
Okay. Tylerson.
Well, that's good.
All right, hey guys, that's going to wrap up our UFC talk. And you can go ahead and throw some comments down below on what your thoughts were on the pay-per-view. If you're going to rate this, John, what are you going to rate it?
The pay-per-view part or the whole card?
The whole card, John.
The whole card? I'll give the whole card because I thought a lot of the prelims were really good. I'll give the whole card a 7.5.
Okay, I was going to give it a 7.
Okay.
Yeah, I give it a 7.
I always give a little bit more than you.
Yeah, you do.
Yeah. You're a harder scorer than I am.
Yeah. You're just always trying to overcompensate for something. I don't know what it is.
I can tell you what it is.
All right, guys. Hope you guys enjoyed that UFC breakdown. And before we move on, make sure you guys go to BetUS. Like I said, John, this is a question I want to ask you about football with the Barkley situation. BetUS YouTube 150 is the promo code. But do you look at Barkley and you think to yourself, I get a lot of flashbacks, but I get a lot of thoughts in my mind of had Barry Sanders went to a team that he would have the success that Barkley's having right now.
Yeah.
Like can you just imagine if he would have went to like the Niners at the time or like Denver Broncos or fucking Buffalo Bills.
For the most part, if you go and you look at the teams that Barry Sanders played with, and you look at the offensive line, a lot of times the offensive line was not good.
No.
Not good at all. And he still made stuff happen. Now, Barry either got good yardage or he got bad yardage because he was trying to make something happen. But like that guy was so good. If you had put him with a team that had a great line at that time, it would have been scary to see what he could have done. He was just that good.
I mean, because I think about that, right? That was what, the mid 90s?
Yeah.
It's mid 90s, right? I mean, that's the 49ers. That's the, who else? Denver Broncos.
Well, it's funny if you think about it.
Green Bay Packers.
The Detroit Lions are doing great right now, but
yeah,
they have two players that are possibly two of the best that ever played those positions. You know, Barry Sanders, who played on some shitty teams, Calvin Johnson,
yes,
who played on some
Calvin
shitty teams.
Yeah.
You know, and you look and you go, I feel bad because, boy, they made those teams better, though.
Calvin Johnson was on a team that was 0-16.
Yeah.
Isn't that fucking crazy?
Yeah. And had phenomenal seasons every year.
I know. Unbelievable, man. Yeah, I was just thinking about it the other day. I'm like, had Barry Sanders left and went to any other team, I mean, not any team, but, you know, pick out of the 32, pick fucking 22 of them. If he'd have went to 22 other teams, I mean, he's already a Hall of Famer, but I mean, he probably would have taken them maybe to the Super Bowl. Any of those. I mean, I can't imagine. Jeez. But then I started thinking, I'm like, think about it though, right? Like during that era though, all those teams that I would have liked to have put him on, they all had good running backs. Buffalo had Thurman Thomas, you know, the Niners had, you know, Roger Craig and whoever else.
Ricky Waters
and those guys. Who else would I mean, Emmett Smith for the Dallas Cowboys. I mean, like, all the teams that I would have tried to probably put him on, they already had.
You say the thing about, you know, Saquon Barkley, and he's a phenomenal player. But again, you can take a look. He had some great, you know, games as a Giant, but it's the consistency of having great games as an Eagle that, you know, has been impressive. But take a look at his offensive line.
Yeah.
His offensive line is huge for one thing. I think they average 6'6" and 300 pounds or something like that.
So he's got like 20. I don't know how many touchdowns he's got this year. I think he's got like 22 touchdowns this season. Do you know that? You know how many of them? Or you know what his average yards on his touchdowns are?
No.
Is the average is a 23-yard run. He averages all of his touchdowns come off of like the average is a 23-yard run.
That's crazy.
Off of his touchdowns. So
dude, the simple fact, the one play he had this year where he runs out to the left, does a spin, and all of a sudden is backwards and jumps over the guy going. That's it. It's all over. Done.
Yeah.
Done, son.
I mean, I'm surprised he wasn't the MVP because he had such an impact on the team. And I'm not dissing Josh Allen or
he's fantastic.
Lamar Jackson whatsoever. But that's the thing that pisses me off about the MVP is it's such a quarterback driven trophy or whatever it is.
The NFL is a quarterback driven.
Yeah, I know, but look,
that's why they try to protect Patrick Mahomes so much. It's bad.
Stop it.
No, it's bad. It's absolutely bad. It is absolutely bad.
Got to protect your pride, baby.
Yeah, see,
brings the money in. Brings Taylor Swift in.
Oh God.
Let's go Swifties.
Yeah.
Mount up.
There's something you can mount on her.
Oh, she needs to get an ass, bro. She got the flattest ass I've ever seen.
Dude, there's a portrait in Nashville. It's called it's like the country, country stars Hall of Fame kind of thing. It's got, it's just a painted mural on the wall, and it's got, like Dolly Parton, and it's got Garth Brooks and some of the old timers too. But it had Taylor Swift on it. And based upon the way that she basically treated Toby Keith and things that happened lately, they took her off and painted Brad Paisley on there. It's like, well, there you go.
Well, as they get older, right? They say things and do things that,
Oh, yes.
It is what it is. What do you got? You got anything else for us there, George? Any news?
We got a little bit of stuff if you guys want.
All right. Let's do a couple little things before we head on out, before we enjoy our Super Bowl Sunday with BetUS and YouTube 150.
I'll tell you one thing. I have not eaten for 4 days now.
Why?
Because I've done the fucking fast thing.
Did you water fast? Nothing but water and electrolytes? Oh, you're showing me there could be alcohol in there, John.
I wish there was.
Element, link in the bio, element.
But I will tell you, man, you know what? I feel pretty good. I can't wait to eat tomorrow.
What do you got for us, George?
Well, let's give a huge shout out to Dominick Cruz. He's retired. He officially retired. He blew his shoulder out, so he can't fight Rob Font. Terrible injury. It looked visually terrible.
Yeah.
But he retired. They announced it on the broadcast tonight. Shout out him.
Yeah, I saw his he put a post out showing, pictures of his injury and him holding his arm, and I was like, first off, why someone doesn't help him put that back? Josh, I can't tell you how many dislocations I've put back. And it's something you learn, but it's shoulders, they think you pull on it. You don't pull on it. It's a rotation that you actually pull it and put it back. Yeah. And it's so painful in the position he's in right there. As it's out, it sucks. Now it doesn't, I'm not saying it doesn't hurt a little bit to put it back, but then it's over really. I mean, and I looked at that, I was like, oh man, he had to sit there and wait for someone to actually put that thing back. And I get, he's had so many problems with stuff, but we talked about him before, just, recently. And, there comes that point where retirement is there for everyone, and it's going to happen. And, it happened for you and it happened for me. And it's just, it doesn't matter if it's, Dana White's going to retire someday, and that's just the way it is. And
not what he said. He said
until the day he dies. Huh?
Yeah.
But then, whatever, but in the sport, being a fighter, you definitely, it's going to be coming. You don't have a choice. Father Time makes it to where there's something you can't do. If you're an official, you're going to make that choice based upon, hey, whatever it is you think is you're doing well. And, when you're not, time to get out, I guess. But for him, he had a hell of a career, even though it was limited based upon his injuries. Just had a phenomenal career. It was a true, remarkable fighter. And like I said, I didn't referee him a lot, but the one that I had with him and Cody Garbrandt, and this is where you talk about Sean Strickland today, and I can go to that fight. And one of the things that impressed me the most about Dominick Cruz was he was losing that fight, and he was trying everything he could to get it back. He was taking big risks. He was, being aggressive and things. It just wasn't his night. It was Cody Garbrandt's night, and, Cody was just on fire that night. But that was a guy that he never stayed with, okay, plan A is not working. I can't go anywhere else. Man, he was doing everything to switch up the momentum, to change the course of the fight, to make a change. And that's what made him special, is he had that ability to do it, and he did that in other fights where you're looking, that's why he won the fight. And I'll always remember him, as right now, in my opinion, the best bantamweight fighter there's ever been.
I agree. I would agree with you. It's kind of hard not to say he's not the best bantamweight that there has been. I mean, that guy's been around for a long, long time.
Yeah.
And I know he had that 3 years off and comes back, wins the title. I mean, that's unheard of. That's so difficult to do, especially in the lighter weight classes. He's been plagued with injuries. Some people like him, some people don't. I think that
he's got that personality. He doesn't give a shit. He's going to tell you what he thinks.
You can't take away from his skill. No. His skill definitely translated into the cage. And, Father Time gets us, as everyone talks about, but he is somebody that the way he fought was different than anybody else. And that's what made him so special. Like he kind of created this style, this movement, and this shifting and switching of stances and and punching left hand, right hand, and inside leg kick coming back over the overhand rights. I mean, what he was doing was just
the timing on his takedowns.
Yeah. The speed of his takedowns, all that
It's
stuff.
crazy.
Off of his transitions, he had people guessing. He had everyone guessing. And so he was phenomenal, man. He was phenomenal. And, now it's time to move on to the next chapter, like every other fighter has to. And it just sucks because I know he wanted to probably get one more in, but it's going to be 6 months before he's able to get ready to start training again and having to go back through the process at the age that he's at. And at the lighter weights, I think he just understood, like, yeah, this is not for me anymore.
Yeah.
So, but good on him, man. Great career. And it's going to be a while before someone replaces him in terms of being the best bantamweight out there.
He'll be going in the Hall of Fame soon.
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely.
Yeah.
What else you got for us there?
All right, throwback to when John Nash was on the show. UFC settles antitrust lawsuit filed by former fighters for $375 million.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
They're reaching agreement.
Yeah. I've got, what's weird to me?
Yeah, I know what you got. You got money coming your way.
We'll see. We'll see. You know what's weird to me though, John, is there's a lot of fighters out there that I'm hearing that they're afraid to make the UFC upset, and they're saying that they're going to decline the money.
Okay. Dumb.
It's so dumb.
The UFC, and the reason I'm saying dumb, the UFC is paying out the money. It doesn't matter how many people it goes to. It's a specific sum of money, and they're paying it no matter what.
The other thing too is the UFC. If you believe that the UFC cares that you took the money, you're obviously not listening. They want this thing to go away.
Go away, yeah.
And if you like, you're part of that and you get paid, they don't care because, like John just said, the money's getting paid to somebody, and the money's going to go out. They're probably more upset that the fucking lawyers got 150 million of it.
Yeah,
that's more what they're probably upset about.
That's more what I'm upset about.
Yeah. So like they like, if you're going to turn the money down, you're really just hurting yourself. Like no one. It doesn't matter. They're going to have to pay it to somebody. That's one thing. And two is, do you think the UFC gives a shit? They'd rather have you happy knowing that you did something to them, you did something for them, than the lawyers take it.
Yeah.
So I've had several fighters talk about, and two of them have made it public, basically saying that, no, I do business with the UFC and I don't want to take the money, so and it's ridiculous. The last thing I want to say is because I am hearing this. Your manager should not be getting any of it.
What?
Yes. Your manager should
Your manager already got paid.
No, John. Managers are telling fighters that they are supposed to get paid some of this.
This is why I hate managers.
There are managers that are telling the fighters.
You talk about absolute bullshit. You don't, any fighter giving more money to their manager after this, loss, crazy. You should be put in an institution. You've lost your mind.
Managers,
and the manager has lost his mind that he thinks he deserves it.
Yeah, and these managers are basically trying to say that I think they're trying to tell their fighters that they can basically hold up the money or something like that and they can't hold it up. It goes directly to you.
It's going in.
Do go to not pay these guys. Do not pay the manager. He doesn't get shit. He got paid to negotiate the contract.
What manager? Is there any manager that you?
If he did a better job, they wouldn't have been a class action lawsuit. So just remember that.
Put out the manager's name that's saying this.
Oh, John.
Oh,
these guys need. It's not just one. It's two. There's two of them out there that are doing it.
Name them.
Not just one. It's two.
Put them out there because they're absolute fucking filth.
Yeah, they fighters just need to understand. Do not pay your managers. Do not. I don't care what your manager says. If they threaten to leave you, see you later.
Leave you.
There's other managers that just send me a DM and I'll give you two other managers that are fucking amazing. Yeah. Amazing to work with, amazing to deal with. Just hit me up. Okay? Stays between us.
Yep.
But yeah, do not listen to your manager if he says, no, you know what? I get a percentage of this. No, you do not. And do not have your manager collect the money from you. It goes directly to you. And when you file out whatever that link is for the class action. They will pay you. You put your address in there and it gets mailed directly to you. Do not have your manager do it. Do not. You don't need to. All right. Well, last one. You got another one?
Yep, last one here.
Last one.
Earlier this week, we heard some reports of Canelo Alvarez fighting Jake Paul. That is not going down. He signed a new 4-fight deal with Turkey Al-Sheikh, and he will be fighting William Skull May 3rd.
Whoa. I thought he was fighting
Terrence is in
Crawford.
September.
No, September 13th.
Yep, there you
Okay.
go. So
So
there's going to be a tune-up
one
fight that's
before.
similar to
Got it.
Terrence Crawford style, and then they'll fight Terrence Crawford in September, I believe.
Got it.
And then there's one other fight that they had announced that will probably happen like early 2025, and then they don't know when the fourth fight yet.
Well, I saw that Jake Paul had put here's the signed contract, and if you looked at it, it was just a confidentiality thing. It's like that's not a contract for a fight.
He's all butthurt now and pissed off. He's like, oh, he went and took the money and didn't want to fight me. And wait, aren't you the guy basically saying like you should get like a fighter should get paid the most money, and because he didn't fight you, he wasn't going to make any more money fighting you, buddy. He went and got more money from the other guy, the guy who has really, really deep pockets. Anyways, and then Jake made some video basically talking about his Mexican heritage and talking shit. And then, the best part, John, this is the best part. Turkey Al-Sheikh said, you know what you should do, Jake, is you should call me when you get Mr. Beast. You can fight Mr. Beast and I'll have Disney promote it and put it on their network. He's like, and you guys could fight for the YouTube title. I thought
Very
it was
nice.
fucking great. We'll put you guys
Very
on
nice.
Disney. That's fucking awesome. And then
Have you-
Canelo did a video basically telling him like, hey, I'm a real fighter. You're a YouTuber. I don't fight you. Canelo's very serious is what he says.
Have
So-
you seen this thing called the Beast Games?
No.
That guy, Mr. Beast. I don't know what.
It's on
channel it's
Amazon, I think.
Is it on Amazon?
it?
Yeah.
Dude, it's 1,000 contestants starting, and they get rid of them fast. But it's $5 million is the prize.
Wow.
But then they also give out freaking prizes in the middle of it that are $100,000, $500,000. They'll offer $1 million if you do it. They gave a woman a $1.8 million island, right?
Which she can't afford the taxes on. Makes perfect sense.
She can get rid of it. I don't know, but I'm just like the money on this that he put out on this game. But it's actually pretty interesting because they're getting rid of people right away. Okay, we're getting rid of 500. Boom. So now they go from 1,000 down to 500, right? It's interesting to watch the people. And the best is sometimes it's like, you didn't do anything. You didn't do anything wrong. You're out. It's like that's a sumbitch. There's my chance.
Yeah, I don't know anything about him. I just know he's made a ton of money. He's got
Gotten
something like-
popular.
he's got 100 million followers or something. I don't know, something. Is he close to 1 billion now? Is he close to 1 billion followers?
Yeah.
100
everyone
million
in
and
the
a billion is a big difference.
I don't know. It all sounds the same to me, John. Like anything over anything over like 25, 30 million? I mean, it just gets all bundled
Who
up
cares?
together, right? Yeah, it gets all bundled up together.
Who cares?
All right, hey guys, I want to thank you guys so much for joining us for the show. Hopefully you enjoyed it and enjoyed the fights. Like I said, tune in for the Super Bowl tomorrow. Enjoy. And let's go Chiefs, man.
Go Eagles!
Fuck them
The
Eagles.
birds! We're going.
I got some birds for you.
Look at your number 2.
I got
for
some
everyone-
birds for you.
For everyone out there, thanks for tuning in. I hope you enjoyed the show, and we will see you.